Good morning, Worship City. This is a long overdue Worship City Worship Confessional. It will not be for Father's Day, although I do want to get to that. I can probably do it later this afternoon, but this is going to be for June 24th. This past week, I did things a little bit differently. The service looked dramatically different. We ended up turning things upside down. We're in this conversation right now as a staff of what our service should look like and how we can better pull people into the mentality that they're approaching worship. And actually, my pastor had the idea of having one song up front, a centering time through like a prayer or confession or whatnot, the message, and that would prepare people to worship through music. So I thought that was pretty interesting, and I was very excited about that because, you know, typically it's the music guys that are, you know, having fun, cool ideas for music. And for my pastor to say that, you know, we need to get people prepared for worship through music, that was great. And then I didn't lead worship this Sunday, so I actually got a friend of mine to lead worship because I have been dying to know what our congregation is hearing in the sanctuary. And so I ran sound. I do some of the training for our sound techs. I think that I know a lot about sound, but I've never actually run sound in all of its entirety like I did this week. I ran sound at practice, picked it up and ran sound again through the morning time, and I learned a lot. I learned a ton. I've got to say, if you haven't done that, if you know how to run sound and you're a worship leader, there's no better way, I think, to find out, you know, what all that entails, and to really, you know, strengthen a relationship between you and your sound techs than for you to get back there behind the board and to do it yourself. It was nerve-wracking, it was crazy, it was a extreme rush. Man, it was great. I mean, I really loved it. I found out there's a lot of, you know, discussion online I'm seeing too about how loud do you run. Our sanctuary, I'd love to have the dimensions, I don't know it quite yet, but seats, I would imagine about 300 people. And yes, 2 days ago when we ran sound, I had us a really full, nice, wonderful sound between 94 and 96 dBs. That's a C weighting on a slow scale on our dB meter, and so averaging 95. We're peaking at about 98, I suppose, and it sounded really good. The thing that I had to keep in mind with that, though, and in our room with what we had going on, we had drums, we had keys, we had bass, 3 vocals, and 3 guitars. And so I mean, I don't know, this is, like I said, my first time doing it in this setting. I was constantly moving faders, really mixing it entirely. The songs that we did, Here I Am to Worship, more keys because we had this great ambience, fat padded sound. Then for the songs that we had at the back end of the set, when we were doing Hungry, Falling on My Knees, Consuming Fire, Oh Praise Him, Agnus Dei, A Wondrous Cross, and on a couple of the songs, on one of those songs in particular, we had a different vocalist, and so I was constantly mixing when one guitar would take a lead, bringing him just ever so slightly up, or when even just constantly kind of fiddling with it, because if I left it alone, it seemed maybe too loud and things might kind of be distracting by that. So I'd love to find out from a sound tech if that's the way they do it, or if they set things and then walk away from the board or whatever, but I was constantly mixing for each individual song to get it to sound as full as I could get it to sound without being too loud. So this week we're actually going to do the same style service, and I'm going to lead worship. But I can't say enough about how great an experience it was to run sound and actually truly hear what the congregation is hearing, because we don't hear that enough where we are at the front of the sanctuary. And I found out as well that our pastor has the worst seat in the house. I mean, he's hearing all this bleed over from the monitors, this bleed over from the mains. He's right in the middle of hearing just not truly what the congregation or we hear. So that's crazy. So that's what we did for the 24th, and I'll get back out to you guys what we did for Father's Day, and I should be seeing a lot more, or you should be seeing a lot more of me, actually, in the days to come. Alrighty, talk to you soon.